Hilarious.
One more again.
Well, so for those of you who are tuning in, we were live,
To
or
ourselves
at least, yeah, we were talking to ourselves,
for 11
uh,
minutes.
Ow.
and now we're actually live.
I was
But
about
that
to
was
share
hilarious.
nothing. Oh, man.
Uh, I'm using new headphones, so I can't hear myself anymore. So if I'm coming,
That's all good.
That sounds
Now
like
we
you gotta
get-
beat
you only
somebody's
hear
ass.
the thing with these new headphones though is you guys sound like you're in the room with me, which is really creepy because
Hi,
they have this.
Brian.
Yeah, tell me that.
Look, we had the same idea.
Because they have this spatial like design,
Mhm.
so it
Yeah.
sounds like you guys are like around me when you're talking.
Around you.
Yeah, it's creepy. No,
It's there.
and the other thing that really messed me up is when I first installed the drivers for the stupid headphones.
Hmm.
I kept noticing my camera turning on, and I was like, "Yo, what? Is my camera turning on?" When I looked it up online, they were just like, "Oh yeah, the way it does it is it turns your camera on to understand your distance and the room you're in to adjust the headphones to the space you're in." And I was like, "No, I don't. Why are you doing any of that?
Too much.
That-
Too much.
That is way too much and way scary. That is one of the scariest things I've ever heard. That the camera takes the space and then adjusts the sound for you." I was just like, "Nope."
Hold on,
None
wait.
of that.
Couldn't I wait? Sorry to cut you off real quick. Hold on. My man, you're embracing AI like a
Yeah, I was about to
motherfucker.
say.
And headphones
Yeah.
be scaring you? Hold on, wait, what?
No. I embrace AI when I communicate with it, not when
Oh.
it starts making decisions for me without
Oh,
me knowing.
no, I'm sorry, but
Well,
sound is what
mind you,
He
we all use Spotify, so I guess I should just allow
Nah,
the AI to do what it does.
Oh, did Spotify move over to AI, or is it still the algorithm? I know they're just using algorithms and stuff.
They're using algorithms and AI because now you have
Oh.
a playlist. I don't know if you guys noticed the daylight thing. They have a playlist that updates at different times throughout the day, and it creates playlists based on your listening habits throughout the days and then adjust it. So if you type in like daylight or something, and from what I'm told, that is an AI thing, not just a algorithm.
That's oh, sorry guys. You guys do not link up with my views. I'm sorry.
I redid my shelf, guys.
I
Isn't
it saw.
nicer now. It's nice and clean.
I'm
He's all
more
Hollywood, just like with his glasses on. He's like, look
Right.
at
Super
all,
Hollywood Drive.
I'm pretending that AI is not a thing. I'm getting all spruced
He's
up.
like Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He's evil Brian. I'm excited to hear about your both of your trips simultaneously. How you both didn't cross over. And Brian, like, I'm sorry about the message I sent to Michelle. That was, and I quote, "Nigga, another wedding." Like, it was, it was ridiculous.
He sends that message to my partner while we're at a wedding. So she looks at because we're partying, she doesn't tell me until way later. And then I'm like, "Wait, what happened?" And she shows me her phone, and I'm like, "You got to screen cap and send that to me." So she screen capped it and sent it to me, which was wonderful.
Fantastic. Because I just saw the wedding and I didn't think whose like account it was.
Right.
So my natural response, because after seeing 4 weddings, and I'm like, this guy doesn't have that many suits or shirts on him. Come on now.
No.
You have to have done laundry at some point.
No. This you gotta pull a was it a Steve off? You need 3 suits, 3 shirts, and then you just mix and match everything.
I did travel with 2 blazers.
There you go.
I traveled with a full suit and then another blazer, so that's why, or sports jacket, whatever.
Did you have to bring it like in your carry-on not to wreck it, or did you put it in your actual?
Well,
okay.
You guys know how.
Did you do the special fold?
Yeah.
You guys know how nerdy I am. I have a special duffel bag that rolls. It's a garment bag that rolls into a duffel bag.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I have one of those ones that it folds into like a triangle. So like when you open it, it's like it could hang a bunch of them, and then you fold it. So it's literally meant for suits.
You probably have the similar one to me then. Like when you say it folds into a triangle, does it have actual angles in it to make it?
Like after a while, like the shape is not circular. It's like it's triangular. Because it's meant to have multiple suits in it's I went to like a business store to buy, because like long story short, I had a job where I had to travel a lot, and then at one point in time they're like, you have to, usually I didn't have to suit up because where I was going, but they're like, oh, we need you to go to the States this time. These people are super professional. You have to wear a suit all the time. I'm like, I'm not ironing everything when I get there. We're not screw that. So,
hey, no, me and Wendell don't travel like that because our bags that are fancy are school bags. That's
well, you got the school
bags and your transformer bags and shit.
The school bag that I have, the orange one, the orange and gray one that I bought from Amazon was specifically for this trip because it has so many compartments in it that I was just like, well, this is going to be a good investment. And it worked out because, I'll tell one quick story about the trip. We were in Athens, Greece on the 5th or 6th. I don't know if you guys heard, but they had a storm so big, they named it. So I thought, we'll go out. We're still going to go to the Acropolis. So we end up trying to go to the Acropolis. It's pouring rain. And I have a poncho because I'm just like, no, I'm going to buy it. I had a poncho. I bought a poncho, brought it with me on the trip specifically because I knew, Europe has rain. But yo,
you sound like Granddad during the riots.
No, but
it's like
you
pull out the hose. I didn't know they had hoses. I was watching TV. I saw they had hoses. I would have put a poncho and a raincoat.
I mean, I know Europe, guys. I'll tell you one thing. I know we get rain, but the way Europe gets rain is like
rain.
It's like someone goes off and then goes 120%.
They made rain also in London, right? Which is much worse. That is like the rain place of Europe.
I got hit both times. I got hit in London on my way to Forbidden Planet, which for those of you who know is one of the biggest geek stores in London. So I got to run through. That's where I got the Alan from Invincible action figure that's right here. Nice. So I got it for £20, which was a little cheaper than if I bought it in Canada. I was pretty excited.
That's like $35.
Right. And then that's what I said to the guy at the store in Montreal, because when I saw it, I'm like, how much you guys selling it for? He's like 40 with tax. I'm like, yeah, so 46. I got it for 35, 36. Yeah, he's just like, oh, it's about the same. I'm like, homie, $10 is not yet.
No. That's the point of the saving. That's the point.
What are you talking about?
No. He's saying how much he paid for it.
Right.
It's about the same. Shut up.
About the same.
Exactly. Yeah. So in London, it rains so much that first of all, London does not know how to handle their rain because it does not drain it into their at all. It doesn't drain. Every intersection is just a flood. Every intersection, every single one.
But just to be fair, their houses are older than our country.
Yeah.
So their infrastructure is just hella old.
It said older than our
I don't
country.
know. Jaws, the Roman Empire figured out how to make roads that last better than.
But you said London. You did not say. They conquered them, but they didn't bring all that infrastructure over.
Wow.
Like,
they didn't import the biggest.
Didn't you watch
brain.
Asterix and Obelix? Didn't you read that?
I did read Asterix and Obelix.
Beating them out. They're like, no, we don't need that.
I would say if the Roman Empire goes in, you would be like, hey, this is how we build roads, and hopefully someone would figure that out. Anyways, all that aside, we're talking about huge floods at every fucking intersection. Every time we tried to cross a street, we had to go into the street, around the puddle, and back onto the sidewalk.
You didn't show them the good old fashioned like Quebec, long jump.
No. Nah, you ain't long jumping these.
Long jump.
You're ending up with a knee. You're up to your knee in water, bro.
You would literally have had to jump from one corner to the other corner.
The
water was so high. I was just like, and I'm seeing people with strollers just running through strollers. I'm like, your baby's about to drown. Why are you?
No, that's how we do it. In it.
They looked at you, and in their mind, they're like petty tourists. It's walking through it.
Facts.
They have an extra change. They have change of clothes in their backpack. That's what you don't understand. They have their rain clothes.
Socks.
They really do. They really be out there. I bought. Okay, it's not in here anymore. I bought the thing that I saw some people wearing, which is the galosh covers for your sneakers, so amazing. That you can put. It was only $20, and you put it over your shoes when it rains, so that it has like a grip underneath, and it looks like a sneaker, but you're just covering your sneakers.
Yeah.
And I was just like, worth it. 100%. However, I bought them. However, I bought these after I got my shoes destroyed in Athens.
But the good thing,
Guys, when I say destroyed, I still can't wear them.
What?
I
Why?
still
They're
can't
still
wear the
soaked?
shoes.
It's
They're
been so
still-
sunny this week.
Dude, nothing. They're dead. These shoes are dead. I bought new shoes in Athens because I couldn't wear these.
oh my god.
Wow.
Damn.
I'm
No,
telling you.
I think you should just have a funeral for them shoes.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're keeping them.
Shout outs to Michelle. She figured out how to clean hers that she could still wear them. I can't get mine to clean. Like the smell and
The sewagey smell.
dude.
Yeah,
So
go put
Athens,
'em in the washer.
Athens flooded. We tried skinny. We tried.
Were
We
you
tried.
were you in the
We
area
tried.
because
They're
Athens
dead,
has a
Jim.
lot of angles? Were you in one of the areas? Because my partner and I
Dave.
we left Athens
I have
and
no
we knew
clue
you
what you're about to
arrived.
ask.
I don't
and
know
we're
where
like,
I
we
was.
just missed
I
it.
know.
Brian just got it. So we were like, we saw a video where there's like a bunch of people sitting at a restaurant and like the street is just full of water and there's like chairs
clue.
flying down the street. Were you there?
I have no clue what you're talking about. I was-
Okay, no.
I-
because-
you know what I'll tell you, Dave? I was in the part of Athens where when I tried to cross the street, you know when you look at the street and you're just like, oh, that's the shallow part. I could just jump there and then jump the other side. When I jumped there, it went up this high above my ankle. That's what I thought was the shallow part. And then my dumbass had to walk in wet socks for 8 to 10 hours.
Oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's nasty. Ew.
My feet were so pruned up
Oh,
at the end of the day when I got back that the middle of your foot
Yo, at that point,
was squished. The middle of my foot had squished up on itself because it had pruned up so much and stayed like that for so long
Ooh,
that
you
it
got
wouldn't
trench
flatten out. Yep.
bro.
Trench foot.
But you said you went to the Acropolis. The Acropolis
No,
is like
I
essentially
didn't go
tiles
to the
everywhere.
You didn't make,
I didn't
Oh, you
go
didn't
to-
make it. Okay.
I
okay.
didn't make it because I got flooded out. Dave.
Okay.
I got flooded out.
Your
No,
foot
because I was
so
worried you
wet that
tried. Because we went, and if you went, like we saw
Nah.
people when we were there. So there was two types of people: people who were smart and realized that you're doing a hike and you're going to be on tiles, and they wear like proper shoes or sandals. And then
Right.
there's a bunch of people. I don't want to be mean, but mainly girls trying to be really like dressy and dressed up.
Like
and
influencers.
they're
Yes.
breaking their ankles, slipping all over this place. So you're telling me,
Dude.
and then you're telling me you're trying to go. I'm like, if he made it to the Acropolis on those angles and walked it and didn't break his ankles, I would want.
Well,
to
I was wearing sneakers though. I wasn't wearing like
yeah,
anything
but dude,
fancy.
if you I would imagine you still sliding. Like super
what
slide.
shoes did
The
you
top
wear?
would be all the super. What's that yellow thing? Super slide or whatever.
Slip and slide.
Slip and
Slip and
slide.
slide.
That's it.
Well, I got to go to the Acropolis in Rhodos. So I at
Okay.
least got to do that one. So that one
Okay.
we went up to the top of the mountain. We saw the whole thing. That was really cool. I went to an all inclusive. That was 1 week that while I was gone, which was super fun. I don't know, but I've never done an all inclusive, homie.
ever?
Never
not
in my
even,
life had a
Like Cuba
I'd never
or
done
anything
one.
like that?
no.
Oh, shit.
What? How? All
I
right.
didn't.
And
So
you
my
found
first
one in Greece. That's dope.
my first all inclusive was
It was
a
in Greece.
beach in Greece.
I don't
Where they
understand
gave
how
you-
you turn up like that. Like you're just so extra.
Yeah.
I love it.
They had like a pizza oven on the beach with that you could get pizza all day, and then on the way back to your room, the restaurant that's in the hotel, the nice restaurant in the hotel, gave out free donaires, like gyro donaire sandwiches all day. You could just go and be like, "Hey, can I get 2 sandwiches?" They're like, "Yep," and then they make them and give them to you fresh all day,
Nice.
every day, and then you could just drink all you. It was ridiculous. I drank. I drank
Guys,
so much.
I drank. Look at
You're
look
like,
at
yeah,
it.
screw it. I'm doing it.
Anyone who knows me knows I don't drink, and I drank. Like
Damn.
they had the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster.
I don't know
From-
what that is.
Does anyone know what that is?
Nope.
No.
Oh,
I'm old,
guys,
sir.
What is
really?
that?
Pan
you don't.
Hitchhiker's Guide. Hitchhiker's
Oh,
Guide
I
to the
haven't
Galaxy.
seen that in a long. I haven't seen
Yeah.
nor read that.
I
in a
don't
really
remember
long
that
time.
part. I know the
I never
Babelfish,
got that joke.
but I don't remember that one.
You know how that whole
Yeah,
movie was like an
Pan-Galactic-
inside joke? I never got it.
Yeah, Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster is a drink that what's his name, Sam Rockwell's character drinks in the movie. So,
Yeah.
and I mean it's in the book, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, I had those, a lot of those. The vodka, raspberry, strawberry, and basil.
That's
I swapped out. Oh, and black pepper. I swapped out the basil for orange slices. Let's just say Brian got. Oh, as my new British friend, shout out to Jack and Nat. as they were saying, Brian, you're getting wavy, bro. I was like,
oh, you were fucked.
Oh yeah, you're super fucked.
yeah, they were like, they're like, Brian. The first time Nat said it to me, she's like, "You feeling wavy?" And I was just like, "Wavy, that's dope." She's just like, "That's dope." And then she's just like, "Do I sound? What did she say? Do I sound stupid saying dope?" I'm like, "As smart as I sound saying wavy. Let's do it." So,
yeah, it never occurs to me that no other places say that's dope, or that it's just so dated that they forgot about it, and we sound like
Old.
ancient ones saying that.
no, yeah. Well, that's true. Those two were. They were much younger. They were much younger than us, but yeah,
exactly.
they were.
That's
chill to
dope
hang
was
out with.
created when they were born.
Yeah.
You know how a word is. You know what a word is old when a whole movie's named after it.
That's fair.
That's when it's retired.
And that's only if a word can make it too, because sometimes the words don't even make it. Like Fleek never got all the way.
Fleek is out of here. No one says.
Yeah. Fleek came and went so fast.
So fast.
Like we had
that
all
and
that.
Bay.
And that was.
Oh my gosh, I'm happy Bay's gone.
Yeah.
We have all that, and that was an old show. That was an old show.
Yeah.
I saw like a TikTok about all that, and it was just showing you all the performances, all the music performances, and I guess some of them are live and stuff, but it had like Deborah Cox singing to a bunch of kids, just belted it out like it's important, and I'm like, God damn!
Some of these shows,
you got the song about her man cheating. It's like 8-year-olds. Like, yeah.
Then they had Busta Rhymes doing "Tell Me, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See," and he's just wilding with the dreads. And they had speaking of cheating, they had Drew Hill singing "Tell Me What You Want," and they're doing the hop
on a kid show.
On all that, and then the last one was
well, wait, all that is the one that was Keenan and
Kel. That's where Good
That's
Burger
where
comes
it's
from, and all that.
Joss D is saying that like it's not a black show. Of course, black kids.
Was that all that? No, all that was the one with what's his name? Jason Weaver. No, that was Smart Guy. Sorry, that was Smart Guy. My guy.
Yeah. So, but all that had Keenan and Kel, so that's why I'm like, oh well,
yeah,
that's
their first show.
Yeah. Of course, we're gonna have.
Who
I'm not shocked,
intro?
like, because when you said that in my head, I was picturing like Sunny with a Chance, which was that other. And I'm like, these guys had like Cisco. I'm like, that's very odd. And it's like, wait, no, it's no. It was a black show. Yo, shout outs to Mark, shout outs to Lee J, shout outs to everybody who's tuned in. By the way, we haven't said what's up to them in a minute.
This week,
I don't know for you, Brian, but I found all my favorite foods got ruined when I went on my trip because I know what they're supposed to taste like.
Oh, because you had them over there and you're like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like.
Well, like feta is not supposed to be like firm. You know what I mean? Like when we buy it here, it's firm.
Yeah. That is something that. Yeah. And then I mean, I didn't have much feta because I'm not a fan of feta, so I only had it a few times, and I was just like, to me, I was just like, this is good, but I don't really eat feta here, so I didn't have anything to compare it to.
No, because I remember I was walking away from when I was in Santorini. We were walking away from one of the beaches, the Red Beach, and there was this guy, like he's just like showing, he's like cooking chicken on a spit or whatever. He's like trying to offer me, like, and he's like, come here, just try it.
Yeah.
And then I look at it, I'm like, so I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to this restaurant because this is the best chicken I've ever had.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a whole bunch of it.
Yeah.
And like going to Naples.
Yeah.
Pizza's ruined. Pasta's ruined.
It's
I mean, technically, you can make your own.
Yeah, but we're not professionals like that.
Yeah, I was about to say,
you don't have
we
to
could
be
do
a
a lot of
professional.
things, Wendell.
It's just you need a lot of time.
But what he's saying is like, but it's not just time. They have experience and skill.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, no offense to you, Jaws, but I'm sure as much as I could give you as much time as you want. You're not going to make a pizza like these guys make pizza.
No, I'm not saying pizza. I'm saying pasta.
Let me
put it this way: every restaurant is Nona quality pasta.
Right.
Even
I'm
the worst.
I'm not saying I'm making Nona quality pasta. I'm just saying I could get the flour, I can get the eggs, I could do the little mountain thing, the little inverse volcano thing. You can get that going, but the little shapes, they're gonna be oblong as all hell. It's not gonna be like
I don't know, man. All I know is when Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, I feel like Nona knows exactly how long to put it in the water. Like, there's a whole skill to it, and even just the water itself is probably an element that you can't even factor in over here. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things. Like, I'm sure people over here tried their best, but you're not gonna be able to recreate a lot of the stuff that you have in Europe.
The only way you're going to be able to do it is just practice. But then also with the feta and the cheese and the food and everything, it's different food laws and stuff like that. So stuff that they would do there, and that's more traditional, like probably won't be able to do here because, like, you know, well, we have to pasteurize the milk and this, that, and the other.
Right.
So yeah.
But like Dave was saying, feta already is so different.
Yeah.
So
all I know is, like, when I was in Rome, there was one place. They make us go into a line. It's 8:00 at night. I'm looking at this line. I'm like, we're gonna be there till like 10:30, but it's a place that got 4.8 on 5 of 58,000 reviews. Right. This place is so bumpy and so large because we didn't realize how big the inside was. We sat down within half an hour, and I find people are like, oh, this is tell the chef, like, kudos to. I find that very pompous. I had this meal. I had 2 entrees,
my man does
2 mains, 2 desserts, bottle of wine, and we both had like a pop each or whatever for like 80 euros. I looked at everyone like, whichever asshole didn't put 5 to make this like not 5 on 5 of 58,000 reviews is a jackass. And I went to both the busboy and the waiter. I'm like, you tell that chef the best fucking meal I ever fucking had.
Well, okay, so I'll
thank you, you American scum.
You know, Canadian scum, please.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, the way you're coming out probably drunk.
There's a restaurant that we went to that a friend of ours found called De Porto. And when I got there, I'm going to try and find the picture of the entrance to the place, just so you guys understand how insane. Okay, I found it. This is, I still can't process. I still can't process what I saw. But I got to share this for you. So my friend says, oh, yo, we're going to go to this restaurant. We're going to check it out. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. She's just like, it's going to look a little weird. Don't judge it. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm like, okay, why are you saying it like that?
Now I'm scared.
So this is where she took us.
Straight up. Let's see this.
So for any of you listening,
nah.
For those of you listening, it looks like a basement.
80s, circa like the 70s.
That's a 70s dive punk bar. They do all. Listen, they're doing the drugs on the stage
had
in
a
that
fight
bar.
In the front.
Okay,
and someone lived in someone's office. Is that desk?
By the way, guys. By the way, what you're looking at with the people are sitting, that's not the restaurant.
Of course, no, it's the downstairs. It's a creepy
It's
basement.
the downstairs.
Yeah,
exactly.
So this is where you look at your friend. You're like, listen, I know we haven't known each other a long time, but I swear I didn't mean to hurt you.
Are you trying to take my organs?
Yeah. So we go trying to take my organs.
Yeah.
So nice. we get to this restaurant, and I'm standing outside because I'm just like, okay. How long is it going to be to get in? We're a group of 8, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's just like, oh, you know, we can't really take large groups. I'm like, what do you mean you can't take large groups? I'll show you why they can't take large groups, guys. They can't take large groups because there's only maybe like 5 or 6 tables in the whole place that are super small. That I'm like, this is the whole restaurant. This is the whole restaurant, by the way.
Man, stop it. What kind of?
This is the whole restaurant. So once again, if you're looking at pictures, it's a restaurant, but half of the restaurant is filled with barrels. There's just barrels on the wall, and then there's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tables. That's it. That's the whole restaurant.
Picture your friend's basement. It's pretty well lit in the basement.
Italian
it's
basement.
A basement.
It's a basement. Hold on, wait, Brian, wait. Best food you ever had, though?
Some of the best food I've ever had in my life.
Straight up, of course. Yeah.
That's the thing that's crazy. So this is in Athens. It's called De Porto. It has one of the best reviews. People love this place. Supposedly, it's been reviewed by tons of super cool food critic people online. And I'm at this place. We go in. There was 8 of us. So 8 of us with wine, and you don't get to pick what you're eating. It's just whatever they're making that day. So they just bring They just bring food to your table. They brought like multiple plates of different things, fish and lentil. I don't even know what the fuck I was eating. I was just eating everything. It's
Good luck
all
if you
over the
have
table.
allergies. Don't do that shit.
Oh, big facts actually. Good point. Because they barely speak English. So if you have allergies, do not go in there.
Good luck.
Legit.
nigga.
Do not
Russian
go in there.
roulette.
Do not
Yeah,
go
yeah.
in there.
Do not go in there. But like
Yep.
we're sit down, we ate everything, huge salad, like Dave, like you're saying, nice fresh feta, all this stuff, Greek salad, fish, some mashed potato thing, some lentil thing, nice fresh bread that smells so good, wine, all of that. So at the end, homeboy comes up to me and he's just like the old Greek man with his thick white mustache, white hair, the apron, comes up to me, goes, picture. Doesn't say to anyone else at the table.
Yes.
Decides me and him are going to take a picture. I'm going to post a picture on my Instagram later. We take this picture. It's the most awkward picture I've probably ever taken in my life because I didn't drink. I wasn't really drinking at that point because I drank so much the week before that I was like, I need a break.
Mhm.
So it's me holding the wine cup because there's no glasses, like a metal tin cup, holding one of the barrels with him like this. And we're both like smiling, holding a barrel. And then everyone's trying to figure out how to pay and what the cost is. He looks at me. Everyone else is walking around. He looks at me. He writes 90 on his hand, and he just points to his hand. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is what's happening? What does this mean? Are you telling me the price for everyone? Is that for one person? And he goes 90. And I'm like, okay.
That was
So
for
I
the
go
photo,
over,
bro.
dude. Yeah, thank you, Dave. Thank you. Because I thought, just like Dave said, when he wrote 90, that this man meant I had to pay him 90 euros for a picture that he asked me to take. And I was so confused.
I invite you to my house, into my basement. I fed you full of food. I give you one picture.
Guys, when I tell you I was so confused, this man wrote 90 on his hand, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Because I didn't even understand why he asked me to take the picture out of the whole table. Then he asked me to take the picture. He writes 90 on his hand. So then I finally figured out, he means the price for the dinner. We paid.
What's funny is that you wered drunk.
No, I'm not drunk. I'm just
diversity in these
confused.
photos, bro.
Bone dry.
I'm just confused.
AF.
Confused. Big time AF. So 90 euros, Dave, to match your price. 90 euros for 8 people for like
That's ridiculous.
maybe 8 or 9 plates of food, 2 things of wine, and as much bread as we wanted.
That doesn't even make sense.
That's the thing, though. It's like the prices there, at least food wise, like
they're crazy.
it doesn't. It's not that it doesn't make sense, but like example, the meal that I had, well, even the meal you described right now, it's like the meal I described before. I'm like, I was like in my mind, like at home this would be 200 before tax and before tip, and you're charging me like 80 euros. And like again, if not the best meal I've ever had, the top 3 of the best meals I've ever had. It's like it's just ridiculous. And like I don't know how it was for you, but I found both in Italy and in Greece, for me, there's so like the hospitality is fucking up there. Like they really respect like the fact that they understand, like, yes, people come here tourism, we live off it, and they treat you like very, very well. Not like freaking like coming back home, I was like, I was like so irritated just getting off the plane. I was like, I already feel the insults. Like it's
should have
so
gone to
annoying.
France.
Brian,
And they'd be like, oh,
Yo,
geez.
did homie take a picture with his phone?
No, a buddy of mine took the picture.
So wait, did he not get a copy of the own blasted photo he requested?
No.
What the fuck?
I don't understand.
Try to
He's
get it to that
expecting you
man.
to post
Kidding.
so that he
Try to
gets
get it to that
free
man.
marketing.
You have to get a photo of you and him back to Deporto. You know this, right?
Oh, God damn it.
Get it
No,
printed.
you understand you have to,
postcard
because
it.
first
Well,
of all,
I have to mail it to him?
yes, you
Why
do
not?
that and it will make his
Seller.
day.
I have to mail it to seller underneath building. Like
Yes, yeah.
Hey,
You
man,
know why he did
if
that?
Everyone's
frame
able
a
to make a review of it, I'm sure there's a there's a thing on
Can
Yelp.
I ask you a
They'll
question?
give you an address.
How many people get the owner come out, request a photo with them and their barrels
Well,
out of
that's
all
what
these reviewers?
That's
can
what I was
ask,
wondering.
Were you? I don't want to be mean in saying this, but
You were the first black
were
man
you
he
the
ever
only
saw.
person of color in there?
Yeah.
Like when you're
No.
in your group specifically.
No, not even. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
I don't
then he
know.
must have just liked your vibe.
Yeah.
That'd be it.
Probably thought you're Malcolm Jamal Warner or something. I don't know.
That is the most random pull. Malcolm Jamal Warner.
I think the best part about Doc's story is that he did not end up in a tub with a ton of ice and a kidney missing, and it says, "I owe you one kidney."
Oh man, he was definitely thought you were famous. You need to get him. Mail him that picture, please. Do that. That'd be
Yeah.
I
great.
don't think he thought I was famous because I really.
What did he
guys,
take the photo for? Did he think it would make your day taking his like? What are you?
That's what I'm telling. I think he just wanted to. He just wanted me to take a picture.
Hey, Edna, I'm gonna go take a picture with that big one. Tell you what, it's gonna
Edna.
make his day.
Edna, I fucking love it.
You got to send him the picture, man.
Please,
That's what
you
I
got it.
think.
You have to. I think so.
You have to.
I'll pay for the postage. I don't give a shit.
All right. Well, I'll send the man a picture. I'll find out the address. We'll send. I'll print the
Dude,
picture.
old Greek man from Brian.
It'll be.
Canada. He'll look at us in Canada.
It'll be the Porto, care of random chef. And then just a picture.
Please do that.
Yeah. All right. All right. We're sending this
Just
man a
figure
picture.
out how to
of-
write "thank you"
That'd
in
be so
Greek or
funny.
something.
Yeah.
What Calimera is
Camera
good
is
morning.
thank you. No.
I thought it was
That's a
You have to
word.
write it. You have to write it on the back. Put the date. Write it. Boom.
I gotta tell you though, when you're in Greece at an all-inclusive, if you just pull out your Google Translator app, the people there will fucking love you for trying. Because
Really?
because I feel like no one else there gave a shit. So they were just talking to them in their own languages and being like, "Why don't you understand?" Like, meanwhile, I was there with my Google Translator app, and one of the dudes liked me so much, he kept calling me something for like days in a row. And I was like, what the fuck this motherfucker calling me? And then finally one day I put the app up to him and he said it, and he's just like, brother. And I was like, oh, this man has been calling me brother for
Aw.
3 days.
He's been calling you a homie this whole time. That's great.
Yeah,
Oh
like,
man, it would have been. Oh man, I was like, I really hope Brian doesn't say Malacca. I really.
Yeah. Don't do that.
It's funny. I actually saw
I hope to
several.
God.
I saw several people call Americans Malakas.
Oh, really?
They'd just be like wilding out, and at one point in time, it's just like, and they say it to each other in a way that's like they're saying it in front of them, but it's just they have a way of saying it so fast in a certain tone that I'm like, I caught what you said because they are that girl's a crazy bitch, but that's fucking funny.
Yeah, Malaga.
The best word I've learned in since elementary school.
Yeah.
No, I had a good time at the resort. I had a good time in Athens. London was super cool. Shout outs to my cousin for letting us stay there for free, like putting up with me and my partner staying on his couch for a week. But may I go into my View to Right thing? Because my View to Right thing is specifically from London. I got to see the Back to the Future musical in the West End.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So we get to London and we're like running around town. Also, shout outs to my cousin for taking us to Carnival because we went to London Carnival. Shaggy showed up, started performing on stage. Just wild times. But
Oh, these are Nottingham.
around?
Okay. Cool.
yeah, Notting Hill. We went by the spot where Bob Marley recorded music, a whole bunch of cool stuff. So shout outs to his family, shout outs to Audrey, his wife and stuff. You guys really showed us a great time, so I appreciate it. But yeah, so we get to London, and I'm supposed to be trying to plan a trip to go to New York to see the Back to the Future musical, because ever since I heard about it, I've wanted to go see it. And it's playing in New York until February. So I was like, okay, I was going to try and go at the end of this year before it leaves in February. Financially, though, once you travel to Europe, not a good idea. Yeah.
You sit down, boy.
Yeah, like I sat down with two other friends who really want to see it in New York, Michelle, me, and them, and we tried to budget it out to be like, yo, let's all go. And even they're going to South America also at some point, and both of us were just like, cool, not gonna do it, can't make this work. We looked at everything, dude. We were trying to stay in places so far that you would be like an hour and a half away from New York City, like you have to take trains and everything, and we're just like, this just isn't worth it. So we end up scrapping that idea. Get to London. I'm hanging out in London. We go to see my cousin's son, my little cousin. He calls me uncle, I guess nephew.
Aw.
But so we go see him at work. He works in one of like the main markets in like a tourist area. As we're walking there, I start seeing these ads with Back to the Future, the musical. And I'm like, oh, I guess the musical's coming here. My dumbass didn't realize that that is where the musical started.
Hilarious.
And that the original crew is still performing it. And I'm just like, oh, well, damn.
All right, nice.
So, you know,
Lovely.
Michelle wasn't really into the idea of seeing a musical at first because she's just like, we're in London. Can we please go see London? And I was just like,
Nah.
you know, no, but you know what? She wasn't wrong. I was like, okay, cool. I won't ask again. It's fair. So then we did a bunch of stuff. We went to all the stuff she wanted to see. We went to the stuff I wanted to see. We were there for so many days that it got to the point where she was just like, what do you want to do today? And I was just like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. If we could try and see Back to the Future, the musical today, I'd be down because it's still playing. I think we could go see it. We've done a bunch of stuff. She's just like, okay, go price it out and see. We ended up doing it because there's still seats. And guys, when I tell you I had good seats, I was right. Like, you know how you have the main like orchestra area at the front, and then you have the seats, the orchestra pit. So because the West End, it's not really like the orchestra pit per se, but it's more like the front area before the balcony. So then there's the seats under the balcony. I was in the second row under the balcony. So nothing's obstructing my view, but I'm also not paying the same price as the people who are in that front area.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that you're a part of the show. That's how good your seats
They call
were.
me on stage.
If I could have run up stage without getting jumped by a bunch of weird bobbies, as they're called, I would have done it. Because it's so cool watching the play. Like, it's Back to the Future told in a very different way. They changed some of the stuff. It's you know, not as sexist, not as racist, because it's not the 80s anymore, obviously. So we don't have Libyans killing the doc because they're terrorists trying to get their hands on terrorist bombing equipment. You know, like they changed the way he gets sick, they changed the way he dies, they changed a whole bunch of stuff, but the story works. The flow is great. The songs, I mean, I don't love songs. Like, I'm not big on
Nigga doesn't love songs.
You know, I don't like music.
musicals.
I was about to say you don't like songs. Like, how does that work?
That was a weird way of
I
wording
don't like
that.
rhythmic sound in unison. No,
You don't
No,
like musical.
I don't like musical
singing. That's
Yeah.
what you're trying to say.
musical.
You're not watching West Side Story on the weekend.
No.
No, screw that.
That's
Put a bunch of words in his mouth. He doesn't like music.
because the musical singing is so weird because you're watching, like, as I learned yesterday, because you either have what's referred to, and I just saw the movie Theater Camp yesterday, so I didn't know this. It's a musical or a straight play. Those are the terms. So if it's not a musical, it's a straight play. So because I kind of was expecting, and I knew it was a musical because it's literally called Back to the Future, the musical.
God damn
But-
it, man.
But
They
when
start
they
singing. Brian's like, "What's this?"
I want to see this musical on Broadway in New York. What? There's music?
Why are they singing? Yeah.
What are they doing? Singing.
Because you know what it is? When you're used to a story,
They don't have songs in Back to the Future.
Yeah, they don't have
That's what
songs
I'm
like
saying.
Back in Time or Go Johnny Go.
No, because it's not the
They
same.
said Go Donnie Go
they
5
didn't even
times in
sing
a row.
those. That's the thing. They didn't
No
even
way,
sing the-
really?
No, they're singing original songs.
They
They
made
don't
up their
even
own
sing
songs
them.
that aren't that
Go
quite good, and
Johnny
Brian had to
Go.
pretend he liked
Like, I
them.
thought
That's what
that
happened.
would.
So you're watching the musical, and like the few songs that you do associate to the movie aren't there, and then these other songs, like how the mom wants to try and sleep with Marty. So there's a whole
that happens in the movie. What's everyone
Yeah.
laughing? That's the movie.
that happens in the movie.
Did you watch the same movie?
But in the musical, it's even creepier because it turns into a musical about, and it's like her singing about wanting to sleep with him and chasing him around the room in his underwear, and other girls pop in through the window as the chorus, and those girls are singing. So there's just like 4 girls in a room watching this Marty McFly in his purple underwear run around the room and try and avoid being sexually assaulted by his mother. And I'm sitting there like, yep, this is normal. Like, you know,
They traded off the racists for incest. All right, let's do it.
Right?
Yeah, incest was always there, man.
No, I know,
That's the
but
thing.
like you know, incest is like an exclamation point.
Don't bang your mom. You'll change the timeline.
Oh, dude. And there's like moments where the mom being into Marty is so intense that like even Doc is in the background, and the guy who played Doc was fantastic. But the guy playing Doc is like puking because he's just like, oh, like he's really playing up the fact that this is that disgusting.
That's kind of nasty. If she do, like, lady, that's your son.
But
what?
Shout out to Mayor Rudy. What's it? Wilson? Because the dude who plays the mayor from the movie, who plays the guy who cleans the shop in the 50s, was fantastic. He was so good. He had some of the best songs. Like, when you're watching the movie, that character is almost nothing. In the Back to the Future musical, this dude has multiple numbers to himself where he's just singing. He's just singing about wanting to be like mayor or wanting to be a success. And you're like, all right, I guess this is important now. So if you guys have a chance to see it in New York, if you're running through New York at any point and you can afford a Broadway musical, I highly recommend it. If you're in London and you can go to the West End and see that original crew, they're fantastic. The dude who played Biff is hilarious. He's not, and like Biff isn't a big like buff guy. He's kind of a like rotund, like world's strongest man type, which was kind of cool. So it plays like a whole different energy of him being like, instead of him being like star athlete looking, he's kind of like, he looks like Tony Soprano, but if he was
defenseman lineman, that's it.
Yeah. So that was cool. That was
big
cool.
for
It
no
was really
reason.
good. Yeah. And like, but imposing, like
like big, but like muscular, but you just don't know where the you know what I mean? Yeah.
Because because I went backstage after, not backstage at the show, but behind the stage
Okay, I was
on the
gonna
street.
say, you flexing again? What do you mean?
No, not that cool. But I like went behind to see like when they come out and they greet everyone, and the dude playing him, I guess on stage it really is that the performance is what you put out, because I saw a dude afterwards. I was like, nigga, you ain't that big. Like, I just like, what?
I can take you.
Rude.
Yeah.
I gave you all of me. I made you think I was bigger than life, and I was performing.
Dude,
so
and just got.
He had so much mass on stage that I was just like, yo, this dude's imposing. Then I see him afterwards. I was taller than him, and dude doesn't even look that big. And I'm like, damn, the stage really do put on 10 pounds. Like, this dude. Anyways, so yeah, Back to the Future, the musical. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was kind of obvious that I would enjoy it because I love Back to the Future, but it was actually really, really good. So if you guys could see the musical when it tours and stuff, I would highly recommend it. And then the other thing I wanted to mention to people, definitely start if you have a chance, check out Mark Millar's Big Game. It's like his major comic book crossover where every single comic book that he's written in his Mark Millar world is connected, and he's tying it all together now. So Wanted was the first one, and Big Game is like everything that's happened from Wanted till now connecting. It's really
like,
crazy.
So like Wanted, the Magic Order,
all of
Nemesis,
Nemesis, that's the guy in the white suit and kills
yeah.
Dave, I didn't think they would incorporate Empress, and even Empress is being incorporated. And I was just like, how are you incorporating Empress? Exactly. I don't understand, Dave. But when you're reading the comic book, you're just like, okay, I guess.
But is it a series, or is it like a one shot type thing?
It's a series. It's 6 issues. That's going to be a trade paperback at some point.
Okay, so he's following the same formula he's been doing for a lot of them, which is like 6-7 issues, and then that's it.
Yeah. But this one
how
is.
do you get all that in one?
Dude, honestly, one thing I'll tell you, Game of Thrones, baby. If you love a character, understand no one is safe. No one is safe, Dave. There was things I saw happen that I was just like, are you kidding? Like, I started like getting so mad reading the comic book. I was like, how did this I was about to throw the comic book.
But is he trying to wrap up his world?
I gotta say, I don't know, because it really feels like he's trying to like close out the Millar world that he's created. Because, dude, like unless he's
Netflix
gonna
owns his stuff. I'm reading now. That's why.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Netflix paid him out a couple years ago and bought out his stuff. That's why we got Jupiter's Legacy, one of the worst TV shows Netflix has ever made. Thumbs down all around. But yeah, like so when I'm reading the comic book, I'm like, this almost feels like someone who's trying to figure out a way to wrap up and shut out everything. The thing that's crazy though is in the last few months, he's done he did a teen vampire comic book. He did The Ambassadors. He did Nemesis Reloaded, and he did.
There's a second Nemesis.
Yeah, there's a second Nemesis.
Oh shit, I'm reading that. That was really good.
Yeah, the second Nemesis Reloaded, is really good. And then he did the Magic Order number 4, volume 4, and those were all in like the last year. And I read all of those because you're supposed to read them before the big game. And then when I'm reading the big game, they're all connected. So it's like this motherfucker was writing all of this at the same time, connecting all these things. So it's kind of crazy when you're reading it.
Is Kick-Ass technically part of his world, or is Kick-Ass outside of the world?
Kick-Ass is there, baby. Kick-Ass is and it's really interesting because so for those of you who don't know, Wanted is a storyline that's set in the 80s where all the superheroes were killed by the supervillains.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like Old Man Logan style. Mm-hmm. It almost feels like where Old Man Logan got the idea, because when you read Wanted, you're like, oh, this is exactly what they talk about in Old Man Logan. So in Wanted, that happens in 1986 is what you find out. Now it's 2023 in the comic book universe, and you find out that everything that you've read in these comic books, Wanted, Kick-Ass, all of it, happened in the same universe. It's just over a span of multiple years. So Kick-Ass, who refers to himself as the first superhero because he doesn't think superheroes existed before.
He's the first one since 86.
Right. Which is something you're finding out now. But now
shit. Okay.
Yeah. But now Kick-Ass is an adult. He's not a kid anymore. He's like a full-grown, like he's like this old white, not old, but he's like I guess late 20s, early 30s white dude who just looks like.
Is he still in the crappy suit?
He's not a hero anymore. He put up the mantle. So the comic book, so there's a lot of references to him, and like you have to read The Ambassador to understand his storyline a little bit more in the comic book. But yeah.
Now I gotta read all this shit.
Honestly, guys, if you can,
I'm just getting Nemesis.
An issue a day.
If you can, yeah, Nemesis Volume 2.
Give me the digital comic. Give me the digital.
Yeah. Honestly, Dave, not a spoiler for anybody, because, well, a little bit of a spoiler, so spoiler alert. But the end of Nemesis 2 is the beginning of the big game. Like, there's a direct connection. So, yeah.
Oh, man, I have so many questions, but I don't want to spoil it for myself.
Yeah, I need to read all this.
Because, the ending of that book was very, very specific, right? Like, because we did it on That's Canon, which is one of my favorite. I mean, we read a lot of really good material on That's Canon, but that was one of the ones that really stuck out for me. So, like, I'm really curious. And the fact you're saying Empress is part of Big Game. He never did anything else with Empress, eh?
I know. And that's one of the reasons that when you just mentioned it, and I've been thinking it too, it almost feels like he's tying up his universes. When I read this and I saw that he brought in Empress too, I was just like, okay, this is Empress. I'm like, but you never did Empress Volume 2. So, and Empress Volume 1 ends on a cliffhanger. Because remember, you find out that the main hero guy.
But there's also it's concluded, but at the same time sets up very much to be like you're going to continue telling stories of these characters.
Right. Yes.
He does Chrononauts as well, right?
Yes, Chrononauts play a big part in this.
Yeah, what kind of crazy? All right, this guy's trying to make Endgame.
Oh, that's how he probably brings in Empress, probably with Chrononauts.
And Prodigy is in there. I don't know if you guys know who Prodigy is in the comic book.
That one. No.
Prodigy is a comic book about a black super genius who's like a multi-billionaire. He's the smartest man in the universe. And he's like Lex Luthor if Lex Luthor was good. That's pretty much how he's depicted. Because he even has like what's her name? Tess Mercer, the girl that works for Lex. He has like a Tess Mercer type character too, like an assistant that works for him. But yeah. So yeah, man. I didn't mean to go over that long talking about Big Game, but I guess it's fair that Dave would have questions because him and I have talked about this comic and about Mark Millar quite a bit in the past. But yeah,
And
if you guys can check it
and
out.
all that is really like I'm literally looking live of how to buy the paperback of Chrononauts and the paperback of Nemesis.
I have,
and all,
dude,
and all.
I have them all. I have them all, and I have them in the chronological order that he says. Because at the back of the Ambassadors, which is one of the latest ones, he tells you, "Oh, by the way, this is the chronological order of all of these stories now."
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Is
yeah, it's
Chron-
pretty cool.
just out of curiosity, is Chrononauts at the front?
Let me see.
Because that would make me have expectations of the big game.
So Chrononauts. So I'll tell you the order. You have Wanted, American Jesus, Kick-Ass, Superior, Kingsman, Super Crooks, Jupiter's Legacy, Chrononauts, MPH, Starlight, Hit Girl in Colombia, which is when she has her solo title, Empress, Huck, Reborn, The Magic Order, Prodigy, Sharky, Space Bandit, Nightclub, King of Spies, The Ambassador, Nemesis Reloaded, and Big Game.
And he makes all those books all in the
All-
same fucking
They're-
book.
They're all like even Starlight. So I don't know if you've read Starlight,
No.
but Starlight is about a guy who travels to an alternate universe and ends up not an alternate universe, but another planet, and he ends up saving like an alien race's planet from something.
Mhm.
And no one believes him when he comes back. They all think he's just a crazy old man. In
No.
the beginning of Big Game, he's telling that story to a classroom of kids for his granddaughter's class. Because now everyone knows that it's a true story because the aliens came and spoke to him on Earth.
Because it's so because like look, like when you read his books, right? Because of the style of the writing and because of the specific style of art that he usually chooses, you could like think that they're in the same universe, right? But you're never like example, when I was with the exception of maybe Nemesis, I was like, oh, it's very easy to imagine that Wanted would be in this specific universe. But all the other ones, you're not thinking even for a moment that any of these people would interact at any point in time because it just the stories are so like Wanted and Nemesis, okay, they're assassins stuff, but like you go from magic to alternate universe to time travel to all this stuff. You wouldn't imagine that they'd fit.
Yeah.
So that's wild.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I didn't think the Magic Order could fit. And then when they introduced the Magic Order, the way they introduced them, I was like, oh, this makes sense. It's actually really cool. So yeah, guys. If you have a chance, Mark Millar. I mean, you can listen to That's Canon's past episodes. We have a whole bunch of episodes with Mark Millar stuff because he's one of our favorites, I would say, between me and you, Dave.
Yeah, he's very. Brian was always someone who was experienced, and I was more learning as we were doing because when we were doing the show, it was us three, and we were always it was always one person's pick. I was never I was always excited when we were gonna do Mark Millar after the first, like, because I think what was the first one? We did Chrononauts first, and then
I think so, yeah.
And then after that, I'm like, if it's just as good, and you were like, it's always just as good when it's Mark. I'm like, okay, I'll read it.
Yeah, I've legit told people that he's my favorite writer, comic book writer. Mark Millar is
easily argued to say that he's one of the best of the current generation, easily one of the better writers. Easily.
Which is why I'm concerned. Like you said, it feels like he's wrapping stuff up.
Well, he's allowed to retire, dude. He's for sure made the bag. No. He's made his bag. He can do whatever he wants now.
He made the bag when he sold it to Netflix years ago. I don't care. Keep writing, motherfucker. I need not anymore.
You be in his position and you hear what some rando person off the street. This isn't some restaurant owner from Greece inviting you to take photos, Brian.
I'm also on my live on IG, by the way. If anyone's listening on IG, you can watch us on youtube.com/freex or at FX Agents. Oh, I forgot. I wrote it wrong.
Yep.
FX.
We all done goofed.
I know. This is what happens when you haven't been on in a minute.
Not a month. It's not so bad.
Yeah. All right. What else have you guys been doing? What have you guys been checking out?
I've caught up with Harley Quinn, which I'll just say.
Oh yeah, fast. I watched it too. Yeah.
This season, although I enjoyed it, it was a little bit all over the place. I found deep down.
Okay, hit me, because I'm thinking the same thing.
And it was there was some things that I was like, this is really random as fuck. Like example, her having a spoiler alert, a potato clone of her was really, really out there. And the fact that the potato clone wasn't the evil one for the thing that happened, I was like, this is random as fuck. But the last episode, I'm okay with it all. The last episode it washed all that away, so we won't have to deal with anything that happened. The odd journeys that both Harley and Ivy had, which were very separate, I was happy that they came back together. And the fact that the end is basically setting up Sirens to be the theme of the next season, and that Nightwing is essentially going to be Red Hood in this universe.
See, I was worried that's what you were gonna say, because
I don't know.
I thought the same thing.
This is a universe where they killed off like half the people and like Batman's dead, right?
No, so Batman's alive. He just went to prison.
Poor Alfred. That's all I'll say about that.
So this is a DC universe where it's the chaos of Harley Quinn, right? Like everything is as if it's a Harley Quinn world. Like you know how usually when you read a comic book, it's set in the world of like the main character. So when you're reading a Batman comic, it has more of a Batman sense, a Superman sense. Imagine one where it's just pure Harley. It feels like a Deadpool type thing. It's just pure insanity. Everyone doing their own crazy shit. No one makes sense. The heroes are wimps, but also still heroes. The only hero I think that gets well represented throughout the whole series is Wonder Woman. And I feel like that has more to do with them being like, well, she's a woman, so we should keep her empowered. Because like Superman looks like a jackass. Bruce looks like a jackass. But
Bruce looks like just a selfish tool.
Yes.
And Nightwing is is so self-involved. He's the polar opposite of himself.
Yes. And then Damian is Damian. He's still, but the only thing though, Damian is Damian, but also a big baby because he wants his mother's attention and like craves it. And it's just like, oh, this is weird to see Damian actually want like Talia al Ghul, like, Mom, look, and you're like, oh God, Damian, no,
oh God,
don't be that bitch, don't be that bitch,
don't be simping for your mom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's simping. He's simping off the tit for his mom.
Oh my God.
You have to say it that
Dave
way.
came back with a vengeance. Look at this thing. Wow. God.
So when you're watching the show, you're just like, okay, King Shark, hilarious. Clayface, pretty funny. Joker, so. Yeah, Joker is still kind of Joker no matter what you do with him because the world itself is already so crazy that you're like, okay, well, this is just Joker being Joker no matter what. But I have to agree with you that at the end, because the whole season is Harley is being a good guy because she's part of the Bat team, the Bat family. Because she earns she doesn't earn their trust, but she earns a spot. So while Bruce is in prison, she's helping out the team. And you're just like, okay. And then you watch a whole season of her going through all this shit. And then you get to the end and you're like, oh, okay. And then like Dave said, they kind of wrap it up in a way that you're like, oh, I actually want to see next season.
Well, I'm just going to read the ending because you can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm just one thing though, Dave, I'm concerned about HBO Max / Discovery, Warner Brothers Discovery, I should say, has not been showing a lot of love to their shows. They've been canceling a lot of stuff. And last season for Harley Quinn, it took them a very long time to confirm that we were getting another season of Harley Quinn. But so I'm hoping we still get the 4th season.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping so. I mean, again, like, because regardless, because you know what was weird is like the overall stories of the season was maybe not the strongest, but I still found episodes to be entertaining.
Yeah.
Like it was still fun to watch, right? And at the same time, like, knowing HBO, they're still going to want, like, that's their only really, like, I don't want to say it's their only edgy thing, but right now it's their edgy cartoon. They don't have anything that could replace that right now.
As in something they could bring back, because remember, they still have Velma.
Yeah, but if I had to guess, let's say we're in the boardroom, right? If one gets axed, I think you're going to keep Harley and remove Velma.
Better get rid of Velma.
You've already proven that you'll have more inclusion with Harley Quinn because you have more characters, which means you could get more diversity. And they don't mind switching things up on them at all.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't think you can. Velma is pretty diverse, though. As a show.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying like if you both
Because
get
Harley
the right
Quinn
same
is just about-
diversity, but if you get both the same diversity, what's the bigger fan base, Scooby Doo or Harley
Right.
Quinn? For
Okay,
sure, Harley
so
Quinn.
if you're making the argument of bigger fan base, yes, I would say Harley Quinn. If you're talking about diversity, Velma still beats them because Harley Quinn is still just white people. Like the only character of color are
King Shark.
Catwoman and Lex Luthor.
Yeah, but first of all, you definitely have LGBTQ.
Yes,
there, like blatantly.
But I'm just saying.
But I also thought that how they represented a lot of the characters that were showing no real, like example, the King Shark,
right,
all those
Ron
other
Funches.
characters, how they're being portrayed. You could link them more with like you're. I'm not saying you're part of this group, but I'm making you talk and say a bunch of shit and go through a bunch of stuff that this group of people without giving I'm by one person by not giving you color. I'm representing like 5 in one, and I'm just choosing which episode that does that.
Right,
like, you know,
which is something that I've talked about that TV does, where like all the black gay characters, like every TV show, the black male character is gay. Because they're just so lazy with diversity. Instead of having a gay character and a black male character, all the shows just make the black gay character. And
in the writer's room, we call it a twofer.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. When you end up watching, and like the Hoteps run around being like they're trying to demoralize the black family. No, dude. It's not even that deep. They're just lazy. They're just cheap and lazy. That's it.
Man, that's all.
It's unfortunate, but that is what it is. All right, yeah. So Harley Quinn, I would say Harley Quinn over Velma myself, but we'll see. Yeah, but I'm fingers crossed. I hope that they don't end up canceling it because I think it did well. I just don't know what their thought process is now these days. Like I can't tell. Like I used to be able to be like, oh, this show's doing well, it will not get canceled. And now I watch stuff and I'm just like, Zaslav is canceling stuff that I see do well, and I'm like, I don't understand why you're canceling this. So like I watched Blue Beetle, and now that I've watched Blue Beetle, I still don't understand how this got made, but we'll never get to see the Batgirl movie because I'm telling y'all, Blue Beetle is not a good film. It is not a good film.
I mean,
it is not good.
I saw someone break down that Blue Beetle was basically Ant-Man. And if you think about it and you walk it through,
the first Ant-Man movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
break it down.
Okay.
So it's basically for beat. It's a guy. He's down on his luck. He's trying to turn his life around, but he goes to jail. But I mean, I don't think it's about the jail part. But he ends up trying to steal something. But it turns out it becomes his power, the thing that he stole. There's bits and pieces of it. I'll try to find the video, but it was really funny. They just basically remade Ant-Man, which was like
because he doesn't steal anything. He just gets given this thing, and then he I mean, they even showed it in the trailer. He opens the box and it connects to him, and he doesn't even understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But I will I will say the ending. I can see what they mean where Wasp and Ant-Man, and it's Blue Beetle versus OMAC. I can kind of see that similarity. I'll give you that one. Yeah. For similarities in character.
Oh, the Yellow Jacket Ant-Man fight versus him and his. Okay.
Yeah. They have a very similar, like, I have the same powers as you because I learned, like, I mimicked your device, and now we're gonna fight. And you're just like, oh, okay, let's just watch this exact same fucking fight again. This equipment that you both have.
I think I found it. I
think it's a catch a break, man.
It's a TikTok basically.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there it is. Oh, do I want the TikTok? No, I don't want the TikTok. We don't mess with TikTok. I'll just.
We don't.
Someone took the video and they put it on their YouTube short. So it's just easier to share the YouTube short than sharing the TikTok.
You're right.
I would also say, what's the other thing? Oh, One Piece was cool. I don't know if anyone.
I need to watch One Piece, but I'll eventually get to
I remember everyone saying that this One Piece show is actually done very well.
They're shocked that it's so good.
And then other people are like, have you not seen this Rurouni Kenshin over here that we just did this live action 3 movies in we did over here? How dare you?
Well, I mean, my thing is more, I don't trust Netflix.
Nobody does.
Like they
Why
renewed
would
it for
you?
season 2, and I was shocked because I'm not gonna lie, Cowboy Bebop was not a bad version of the show, and they got canceled.
No, but like One Piece, from what I'm hearing, is legit. Like, you know how, Brian, where you're like, hey, y'all have the source material right there. Just do that.
Yeah.
You know what
And
you've been
they
saying
did.
about DC for years?
Yeah.
They literally did that with One Piece.
Yeah.
So much to the point that anime fans are like, fuck y'all. Like, y'all niggas diss us all day, every day for watching animation. And here you are
Yeah.
jumping on this live action. Just watch the animation. It's the same
I
thing.
will say though, one thing that I'll give the live action over the animation.
Yeah.
If you watch, because I at one point I was just like, I feel like I'm missing stuff, so I want to watch the animation to find out like what this one episode of One Piece is how many episodes of the animation. So I
Okay.
started watching, and I know that there's a lot of filler,
Yes.
but boy, there's some stuff in the animation that you're like, oh, I would not watch this if this was just a show. Like if they
Like
did
what?
this. So the fight between Usopp and the Fishman, where he has the slingshot and he hits the Fishman and lights him on fire. The live action version does that really well.
Yeah.
The animated version of that is one of the stupidest things I've ever watched in my life. Like the Fishman, first of all, has super long pouty lips.
Yes.
That
I
is
remember
like
that.
like a big part of his character is that he
Yeah.
has these lips. And I'm watching the cartoon. Like I watched the episode and then immediately watched the cartoon, and I was like, this is horrible. Why is it done like this?
Yeah, they got really wacky with that. There's a lot of
Right.
innuendos in this one. You're like, wait, what? Yeah, it's
That's the
kinda
thing. There's a lot of
suggestive
like,
as fuck.
yeah, it's suggestive, it's wacky. There's a lot of what's it called? Fan service, where there's
Yeah.
kind of like there's a lot of fan service, which I get it that like it's an anime, so you're gonna have that. But when I'm watching the live action is just like, we don't have time for fan service. We're just gonna make the show and you guys will watch it if you like it. So you're watching the show and like, oh, this is actually really entertaining. So the only problem is with the live action is they will never be able to do as much of the live action as the anime, because the anime is like 1,000 episodes.
The anime's still
1,053.
going.
Yeah,
Right.
And
It's still
like they
going.
have like forever arcs. Like it's dumb.
Right.
It's just
So the
dumb.
only thing I can think of is, you know, if Netflix is smart and this does really well for them, you this is gonna sound crazy, but y'all start double booking and like start like filming with these actors, because Homeboy's gonna be like 70 by the time you try and get through all this stuff.
Yes.
So either you film the show like a soap opera
Run
and
through
just
it.
film, and then give it to post and just let them keep producing them, almost like the anime, because they're almost always making episodes.
But
So-
One Piece, because I never actually watched One Piece.
Yep.
And you never will.
It's like pirates.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's about Luffy. He wants to be king of the pirates. He's a kid with this, like, he's super strong and his arms can stretch wild crazy, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. There's a nigga with 3 swords who puts 1 sword in his mouth, and you're like, how are you gonna fight
Yeah,
with that?
Zoro.
He does. He somehow
Yes.
fights with that shit. It's crazy.
His name's Zorro, which was hilarious. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, gotcha.
That's intentional. I'm very sure it's
Oh,
intentional.
of course, of
It's
course,
like-
of course.
There's always
Imagine it's
references,
not.
and if they can get away with the reference, then
Can't get away with it.
yay. Like if you look at JoJo's
Especially-
Bizarre Adventure, all the references, all the names are like names after bands, songs, and
Oh,
stuff
really?
like that. So when it gets to the 4th or 5th season, where it's like in the suburbs, it's called the Gold Experience. But the problem is that the creator, that's around that time, it's like maybe late 80s, early 90s. So he's getting into Prince. And so a lot of the references are just Prince related. So when they're like,
cool.
we can't bring this out here because Prince is gonna sue the shit out of us.
Oh no,
So it's called the Gold Experience, and this thing is called that. And the way he's posing is like literally the cover of an album from Prince. And it's just like, yeah, we can't bring.
So
this
they
out
never
here. We can't.
they never released it here.
They released the anime now that came out, maybe a few years ago now, recently, but it's not all the names of the stands are all messed up and they're not the same.
That's funny.
Prince is waiting.
That's funny.
Prince be there like, come on.
In his grave? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but
We know.
he still has,
Dave, Yes.
Still has bots out there.
Prince
Yes.
Prince is the type of person that I'm sure when he passed away, after he told everybody, don't release the music in my vault, and they released the music in his vault, he is haunting their asses.
Oh yeah, he
every
literally
night.
sent you a text after it saying, "I told you not to release that shit."
Like
Yeah.
when
What are you doing?
like when Prince died, all of his all the bootlegs, all the recordings everyone did just started flooding the internet. Like, they can't sue us all now. They're fighting over his money. Go, 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 go,
Yeah.
go, go.
That was funny.
Prince.
So crazy.
Oh,
Okay, so yeah, One Piece is dope. People should check it out.
God. The last season of Top Boy, very dope. Wraps that up.
Oh
beautifully.
yeah.
Please.
Is it a final series
Final.
finale?
Final?
Oh wow. Okay,
Final.
cool.
Like they do it in a way you're like, oh, they can't come back from that. Like the way they
That's
do
sad
it.
though.
Sad, but like considering that the show started, stopped, and then you're like, oh, that's a way to end it. Then it came back.
Right.
And then what they did last year, like, okay, well, you're not coming back from that. And then they did, and what they do in 6 episodes, like, wow. Talk about
Oh,
cut
yeah?
the bull. Like, this is a greatest example of like British TV of cut the bullshit.
Dude, what did I say? I always tell people the Brits
just wrap it up,
have
B.
no fat. No fat.
If Wrap It Up B was a show, it'd be Top Boy season. It'd be the season. That's it. It's
The
so
Brits
good.
Brits make TV to make TV. They're not here for the like filler and like, oh, we need to sell ad space. Fuck your ad space. I'm here to tell you a
The
story.
BBC
Like, that's
pays
what it
for
is.
us, and
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
pays for the BBC.
There you go.
Tell your story.
I love how like the cops aren't stupid. Like man does something stupid episode 2, episode 4 they're coming for you. It's not like episode
Yeah.
2 and then episode 16 and like the cops kind of have your name. It's not like,
Yeah.
it's legit. Like,
Exactly.
you do something stupid in 2, 4 we're finding you. That's it.
Yeah.
We're outside your
Yeah.
house. I love it. Watch that shit.
And that's it. Same thing with like when you're watching Luther. Luther was like that. Like you'd have episodes of Luther where from one episode to the next you're just like, oh, this is done.
Oh, this is
You
they're moving.
Yeah,
I
you
think
took
that
care.
was-
you
I think
took
that was
care
the
of
reason that
guy.
like America liked it. Oh, it's the that
listen.
person gay. Oh,
yeah.
Danny watched
Damn.
a Luther movie, I think in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
I
was
saw
in
it.
Yeah.
here like just working. Nigga, I ain't never heard so much screaming in my life.
Oh my god.
What the fuck was that shit?
Skinny. That movie is depressing.
Bro, I come outside sometimes and be like, are you okay? What are we doing? We have
you're
a
just
child.
like you're looking into
Like-
the air.
You know what's
smoking
great
from
about that movie?
What?
They essentially took the plot of like Prison Break, where they're just like, okay, this man has to get out of prison and solve something to prove something. And they did that in like an hour and a half. They're just like, yeah, here's what these fucking people at Fox did for 5 years that y'all still don't talk about. Nobody talks about the show. They did that in 90 minutes. People still talk about Luther every
Prison
year.
Break lost its integrity so bad after season
Yo,
2
but
or
yeah.
3.
Wasn't Prison Break a British
bad
show
idea?
originally?
It was a British show originally, and then they brought it over. No, British or something else, but they brought it.
Wait,
It was
Prison Break's originally a British show?
It was a European show, and then they brought it to the
Oh,
States, messed it up real good, so much to the point that the guys had to go on Legends of Tomorrow to redeem themselves.
yeah. They were
Remember
good
that?
on Legends though.
They were on
good.
Legends too long.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
I mean, like,
what's his name? Fire.
Fire dude was the last. He was
Heatwave?
like the last man standing
Yeah. He stayed on for a good minute.
till the end of the show.
Yo, who's he married to? He's married to someone famous. He's married to Miley Cyrus's mom.
No, he's not.
Yeah, dude. The world is so stupidly weird. Why would the guy who played Heatwave on Legends of Tomorrow be married to Hannah Montana's mommy?
How'd you
Someone
even meet
explain
her?
the internet to me. I don't know. I just love the internet being this dumb.
What?
The
Tish
internet-
Cyrus? He's married to Tish Cyrus. Dominic
Yeah.
Purcell is married to
Yeah.
Tish Cyrus.
Yeah.
Why?
The internet's dumb.
The
Everything-
internet's dumb. I
Where
just love
do y'all
how angry Brian
No,
is.
but-
Like,
No,
the internet's
it's not anger.
that?
Dave, it's not anger. Everything's a meme. Everything's a meme. If
Yeah.
you told me,
We're a
if you
meme right
told
now,
me
Brian.
10 years ago that the guy from Prison Break would be the stepfather to Hannah Montana, I would be like, what the fuck are
The
you
fame
talking
doesn't even
about?
make sense. Your
Right?
stepdaughter is more famous than you for you being on these BS
The mom is
shows.
more famous than him.
Fuck
Right.
is going on? What'd you do that for? For
Right.
like a
Because
Right.
he wants to live real life porn.
True, he's trying to retire cry.
That's what he's trying to do.
Like,
He's
how
trying
did
to get
you
that
even meet?
stepdaughter shit going on. That's what he's
Also-
trying to do.
You out here? You really want to piss off Billy Ray Cyrus?
Don't
I
tell
hope.
her,
I
dog.
hope. I hope
Leave.
that divorce was good, because I don't want to. I would not want to be the ex that like have to deal with the ex-husband being Billy Ray fucking Cyrus showing up at my house.
A nigga that wears a mullet that proud in 2023. No, I'm not trying to be around you.
Exactly.
Bro.
Alright,
You
Oh, yeah,
definitely
I'm
got
just-
a gun.
I'm trying to look into Prison Break here. I think it's its own thing. Sorry about that.
Oh,
My
sure,
mistake.
no worries,
My mistake.
no worries.
Yeah. Oh.
I know House of Cards was originally British, if that's
Yeah.
what you were thinking. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's the internet. Again, the internet rules everything. The world is small. The internet's crazy, and Dominic Purcell is now a Montana, and that's just what we have to deal with.
Montana. Also, I didn't know this. John Barenthal has his own podcast. I mean, everyone does. but
Yes.
This one's actually kind of good. I caught a clip this morning. He's all right.
He's doing what I think Joe Rogan wanted
Wants
to do,
and he's just doing it better.
but he's doing it better because
His
Joe
cabin's
Rogan.
nicer. It's got good
Yeah.
setups.
Joe Rogan, when Joe Rogan first started, and I was listening to him way back when, we used to try and have conversations with people on either side of a subject to try and understand the subject better. And it slowly turned into him being like just talking over anybody who came on his show.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. My favorite was he had Israel Adesanya, the UFC
Okay.
fighter.
Okay.
He's like a little bit younger than us, so he's like in his 20s. He's really into anime. He calls himself a style bender. And then Joe Rogan, in the middle of the conversation,
oh, you don't know
talking to a
nothing.
fighter. No, he asked him, so what do you think happened with Epstein? Do you think he really killed himself? And Israel's like, I don't really follow that. I'm not really following that.
Right.
I don't really have any point to bring up on that. And Joe's kind of like, oh, disappointed.
Dude, there have been times like I've watched Joe Rogan clips where someone is making a point and Rogan is playing devil's advocate,
Mhm.
but he's playing it to the point where even when the person makes the valid point, Rogan finalizes the argument that the discussion they were having. The guy essentially wraps up the point to the point where it's just like arguing with this would just make you look illogical or crazy. And Rogan keeps arguing,
Mhm.
and he's just like, I don't really think it's just that easy to say. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking? Like, now you're just arguing to argue.
1 plus
Look
1
up
is
Joe-
2, but that's if one's a real number. Now,
Right,
if we take
right.
that apart,
Look up Joe Rogan getting what's his name, the astrophysicist guy, or
Neil
Neil deGrasse, Neil
Yeah.
Neil
Neil
deGrasse
deGrasse
Tyson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting him mad because he's on the show for the 5th time and he's trying to explain to him gravity.
How do you get Neil deGrasse?
And he's just like, Joe, I like you. I keep coming on this show. You know, I really enjoy our talks, but I can't keep trying to explain to you guys.
But
"No,
that's
I don't
it.
really understand it. And it's like,
Yeah.
Then you're never will, man.
But that's the thing. Joe Rogan, Rogan is the type of person that would have like flat earthers come on
Oh.
and would have like not a flat earther, but like a regular person come on and would argue the flat earth side of the conversation
Just to get him mad.
just to argue it, but then would actually start to talk like he's a flat earther, and you're like, but you're not a flat earther. We've seen you go around the globe. Like,
I
you
saw-
have
My-
the money to do it.
my favorite one is when he had Bill Burr on the podcast, and Bill Burr just calls him out. He's like, "Look, Joe, no, like we are just two guys that do dick and fart jokes for a
Right.
living. We are not experts. Do not put that on us." And he just immediately shuts it. As like, stop
Shuts
it.
it down.
Whatever
Right.
you're saying right now, knock it off. And I love that Bill Burr can do that to him only because 1, they're both comedians. 2, they're both from Boston. 3,
Yeah.
just like Bill's like, I know I'm stupid. I'm not trying to prove that I'm
Right.
smarter than anybody. Just don't
Cut
be
it
an
out.
ass to people.
Plus, also, 4, a lot of people respect Bill Burr as an like elder of the comedy scene.
Yeah.
he's
Like, I
OG.
hear a lot. There's a lot of like podcasters who talk about Bill Burr as being like one of those guys in the pantheon of comics that
Mhm.
they all
Yeah.
respect.
He's Patrice
So-
O'Neal. He's up there.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like OG with
It's
them.
because he doesn't, even in his comedy, he doesn't necessarily bullshit. He takes funny observations of shit and he says really funny
Right.
shit. But if someone tells him, like, if you go up to him and say something nonsensical, he'll still find a joke in it.
Right.
But he'll acknowledge that you are completely 100% right,
Yes.
and you're not. It's just like, I'm not going to go on a tangent, but it's just like his joke about the WNBA. He's like, women also all asked for it. You all asked for it, and now none of you watch it. You expect us to watch. We didn't want it. We were watching our sport, but then you guys wanted it, and then what happened? You all turned on each other and you didn't watch it. And I'm like,
because I wasn't
you're
seeing
not
dunks,
wrong.
man.
You're not trashing
honestly,
the WNBA, but you're going a very logical point as to why it's not.
He's
successful.
pointing out a thing that is accurate about it. That like the demographic of people who watch that aren't like, it's a higher demographic of women watching it than watch NBA, but they're also still not up to the point where they could sustainably make this a bigger market play. And that is unfortunate, because I feel like, and this is another thing, people watch Big Three basketball the way they watch WNBA. Like there's a niche market that likes watching it, and Ice Cube figured that out for Big Three, and I don't think they figured it out for the WNBA in some markets, which is unfortunate. Anyway, we got to get to the news before we wrap up the show, so we got a few news items. There you go.
That song back.
Folks, well, sure. I keep forgetting I have to add it as a stinger. Guys, the WGA, the Writers Guild of America strike is over. 146 to 148 days. There's different people reporting different things.
A little too late for my black ass, but yeah.
But it's the longest. It is the longest writers' strike in history. The last strike in 2007, 2008, 108 days was the last record. This one was long. I hope they got everything they wanted. I've looked over some of the points. It seems like they made headway in some spaces and less headway in others. It sounds like AI is still going to be able to write stuff. They just it just has to be credited specific ways, and you can't have something written by AI be punched up by a writer. So but a writer is allowed to use AI if they can get permission to do so.
Written by Joe Swanson, co-written by AI Bot 10.
But that's the thing. Like, what studio, like, if I'm the studio and a writer says to me, hey, I need AI to help me write this, am I going to, my first question is going to be, how much do I have to pay for the AI? Zero. It's a bitch, use the AI. Then. Why are you telling me? Yeah.
Stop snitching on yourself.
Why weren't you using the AI this whole time? Just go use the damn thing. So I'm a little concerned about what this is going to mean for writing in the next 3 years, but we'll see what happens.
Mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, these agreements that they come to only last 3 years. So we'll see what happens in 2026. But this agreement is going to go until 2026. Also, one of the funny things that people need to remember, because everyone was so excited, pre-production of stuff might start back up, but because the actors are still on strike, shows might not start back.
Oh, the actors are still on strike?
No, they're pushing that. Yeah, that should.
But weren't the actors like, we don't want to? Weren't they A, the smallest percent in this, and B, like the guy from Arrow and whatnot?
No,
he got canceled. He's got time now.
No. The actors are actually a larger group because they have like the SAG-AFTRA also includes like stand-ins and stuff. So you're talking like
some type of extras, right? I'm assuming extras in some way or shape or form.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the good extras that they call that.
The extra has the one line or the camera lingers on you. Just
right.
Or the one who doesn't look at the camera when the stars come on screen.
It's a cameo.
Yeah, so those guys are the ones that are all, so those people are all part of SAG-AFTRA, and they're the ones that are still on strike. So pre-production, one of the things I learned about Hollywood that I never knew, but I learned through the process of this strike, supposedly Hollywood shuts down after American Thanksgiving. Like American Thanksgiving hits and everyone's just like done till January.
Yeah. Because of weather and all that kind of stuff. And just
I didn't know that. Yeah, I never knew that. So when I found that, I was just like, "Oh, that's an interesting thing."
So actors get two like summer school periods off, basically.
No, they don't. They don't necessarily get
stop working after Thanksgiving, anyways. Like it's the end of November, and then right that it's Christmas. Like they don't.
Yeah. So that's it. So like, so they don't. So unless, so that's what they're saying. If the writer's strike didn't end in time for pre-production stuff to pop off at least until Thanksgiving. The whole next summer was going to be fucked for movies because all the projects that they're writing, they need all the pre-prod and all that stuff to start so that by the time the actors start back up, they can get something done and delivered. By the way, if you work in FX and stuff, the Q1 and Q2 for you
Hell.
is gonna suck.
Bomb
They are going to have you guys change.
You don't think we know that?
You don't think we
You
know
don't
that?
think we know that?
I know y'all
Shit.
know.
I'm gonna
I
be
just-
working for a library by fucking 24, nigga. What the fuck? Get out of here, dog.
Because
that
and
stress.
for anyone who doesn't understand, if you imagine what they still haven't moved all the movies for next summer, meaning everything that they plan to release, they're still hoping to release.
It's gonna be Infinity War at times again. I can't wait.
Yeah, that means they're gonna have everything rush. So Q1 January to March and Q2 April to June is gonna be insane.
April to June. Yeah, all right.
April to June, Q2 is going to be painful to watch. I feel for you guys.
No, don't
So-
feel for us. Feel for the owners. Of
No,
the
no, but
company.
I
They're
mean,
trying to get
I
people
feel-
back.
Yeah. I mean, I feel for the people in that industry.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
the FX people at Marvel just unionized. So that already, I'm like, yo, these guys are.
Yeah, they try to do that across the board everywhere because they're like,
Yeah.
listen, we're not with this fuck shit. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
watching. I'm Big E with the popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Big E with the popcorn, baby.
Something that's come out of the strike, after the strike, people were talking about, it was a rumor at first, but supposedly it's been confirmed now. The Office is gonna get a reboot. Office US.
Why?
Why?
For what?
You can't do any of those jokes no more.
No, you
Guys?
cannot.
You tell me. I don't know.
Hey, can we bring back You Can't Say That on Television and just rerun shit from the 90s?
Right.
That's a show.
Dude, I'll ask you guys this, and anyone who's watching right now.
Yeah.
Do you want more of The Office?
No, I never wanted The Office to
Personally,
begin
I
with.
watched the British one.
Okay.
I didn't even get into the American one.
Okay.
I would say get in watch,
It is good though. I'm
the
not saying
first
it's not
season
good,
is
but
like
yeah.
meh, but I mean that's the setup, and then you're good for
Yeah,
the rest.
Once
of
they get
it.
past the Christmas party, which is where the British one ends,
Right.
then yeah.
Yeah, because I know
No,
the
but-
British one is just more real and depressing
Oh, God, yeah.
comparatively
Yeah.
to the
Yeah, man.
the
But it's
American
funny.
Yeah,
The British one
super
is funny.
Stupid funny.
one. Very
But
cringe.
That's that. I
No,
like,
I don't want to.
That's where I
I
met Ricky
don't-
We're
Gervais.
good.
I don't know anyone who wants more of The Office. Like,
Give
the
me
only
Parks
people-
and Rec. Bring that back. I'm down.
I mean,
Yeah, Parks
there's
and Rec-
but I
Except
mean,
for
there's so
all
much
superstars now.
offshoots. There's so much offshoots of The Office, like everything else that kind of came out after it was doing
Yeah.
the faux documentary
yeah,
kind
Mark,
of thing.
yeah.
Parks and
You
Rec.
know?
What was that? The
But
other one.
The new Muppet Show did that.
New Muppet. That shit was
Oh,
gangster.
yeah.
Why'd they cancel that show, man? Fozzie
People
trying to
were
be in
mad.
an
People were
interracial
like, no, the
relationship.
Muppets are for kids, and it's like, no, Jim Henson said the Muppets aren't for kids.
Yeah.
That's why he was like, the Muppets over here,
They-
Sesame
Fozzie
Street
did
is
a
over there, and I took
relationship
Kermit
and
out of
family was
Sesame
bullshit.
Street to put him over here.
So good.
Yeah.
Kermit was
Yeah,
dating
so-
another pig. So good.
A younger pig,
A
younger
a
pig.
younger
Oh,
southern,
yeah.
Better
southern
pig.
pig.
Yeah, and they
I was
showed
like,
her
"Oh, I
working
see
a
what you did
straw.
there."
It was great.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was super nuts. I just have
Yeah,
a thing
so
for pigs.
I don't understand. I don't think anyone wants this. I think the only people who would want more are people who are such diehard fans of the original story that they would want that continued. But even then, I don't want it. Like,
Yeah.
it's done. Leave it alone. Let it be finished. So
Those are the same
we'll
people who like rewatch Friends and think it's funny. Like, come on.
right.
Rewatching Friends, actually, you just
It-
dislike certain characters, but some characters still hold true. Like Rachel is a complete bitch.
Yeah.
She's a
Yeah.
complete.
You realize, like,
when
oh,
you're a
wait, she
kid,
comes from money,
when
and
you're a
then
kid,
she
she's like all hot
and
and
she
stuff.
works in she works at Ralph Lauren. What?
Honestly, when as an adult, it's not. You're not wrong. Like, as an adult now, rewatching the show, my favorite character was Phoebe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, oh, Phoebe is for these streets. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
When you find out, like, I knew Phoebe could handle her own, but like when you rewatch it, you hear about Phoebe talking about living on the streets and shit. You're like, oh, Phoebe got hands. She'll
Yeah.
put
Oh,
hands
yeah,
on people.
and the attitude she gives them and stuff, like
Yeah.
it's good. It's like basically for me, it's more like still like Chandler. Phoebe's so much better. Ross is a fucking bad person too. He's
Yeah.
a bad
Ross-
person.
Yeah. He treats his
Ross
baby mom super
Impregnates
bad.
women and then like ditches them
Ditches
right
them.
away. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah,
he's
Ross is
not
bad.
a good man.
I know.
Hurt
I know.
was hurt
He
out
gets.
here.
I guess he gets broken just because of his first wife.
But why?
Yeah,
but
but
the other question
yeah.
is why is he? Because if you look at it, he's technically the luckiest guy in the like. He has the most girls in the group. If
Oh,
you
yeah,
really
yeah.
think
No
about
sense.
it,
Yeah,
and it
David
doesn't
Schwimmer-
make
yeah.
sense.
No, it makes no
Yeah.
sense.
So
Inaccurate
yeah,
show.
yeah. No black people in New York. Fuck you.
None whatsoever. Nope. Yeah,
But
No,
speaking of black people with money in New York, Byron Allen puts a
go.
bid in for $10 billion for Disney channels. Bob Iger recently, not too recent, but not too long ago either, made some comments about linear channels and how the future of Disney may not be on linear channels. You know, it's going to be streaming and blah, 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 blah. So people have started putting in bids. Nexstar, who is the company that recently bought out the CW from Warner Brothers and
go away.
CBS. But Nexstar is the one that is trying to buy the Disney channels as well, meaning they would have the CW and they would have things like Freeform and stuff, which would kind of give them a monopoly on that like MTV style TV show, like the CW, the Teen Wolves type shows. So if Nexstar can do it, we'll see. But Byron Allen, who is a multi-billionaire business-wise, also putting in a bid. He owns a bunch of networks. He actually went to task with the cable channels at one point because they weren't taking some of his channels and sued them. The man knows the business. He's been doing this for a long time. And the fact that he started out as a stand-up comedian is always so crazy to me. So if we ever see Byron Allen make this deal work, that would be kind of crazy. He originally was trying to buy BET with Tyler Perry, but that didn't work out. So
No.
he said forget it.
All right. Look at
Oh,
him
and
go.
also, this is a random piece of news that I saw the other day, and I didn't know, and I don't know if anyone cares, but the Williams sisters are part owners of the Miami Dolphins now.
What?
Yeah. Wasn't that
Okay.
What?
wasn't that last year or something?
All right.
That's
this
last
is gonna-
year?
It's a little random.
I thought that I only saw the post recently, and I was like, "What?"
Nigga, hold on, wait. It's an inflation. How do the Williams sisters have money to be buying the
have money.
Miami Dolphins?
They
No,
don't have
but
to keep
like,
playing. One of them is married to the co-creator of Reddit.
okay, wow, all right. Now,
Really?
That's a whole other.
Yeah,
thing.
that's
But-
yeah.
That's a new
Serena. That's who she married, and that's
plethora
who
of
she has
money.
2 kids with.
Jesus Christ! All right, that's freaking like. Anyways, that's legacy money. But
That's
that's a wake up and you don't even have to go outside and do nothing.
Oh, yeah.
for
that's
a few years.
back in 2009.
2009 it says.
Venus and Serena Williams purchased a stake in the Miami Dolphins. 14 years later, according to Forbes, the football franchise is worth $4.6 billion as of 2022.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
So they
Yep.
made. Oh yeah, I don't know why I saw the post literally 2 days ago, as if it was news now, and I was just
Yeah, I got a post the other day about a basketball player who left his wife at the altar, and that happened like 10 years ago. And,
yeah.
like it popped up on my news feed like it happened yesterday. That whole news not being on Bookface now.
I was just gonna say,
yo, bro.
This is what happened.
But that was remember that was something that was happening where people would be like, oh, this person died, RIP to this person, and it's like they're sharing something from that somebody else kind of reposted,
yeah,
and you're like,
yeah,
if you look it
No,
up,
but
you'll find out they died like 5 years ago.
No, but I
Why
think
are you
what's-
bringing this up.
I think what Skinny is saying is because the news outlets aren't on social aren't on anything metaverse related,
Mhm.
we're seeing more of these like old news things.
They're just
because
pumping these
people-
old new things.
Yeah,
out there.
people are just reposting these now, and it's just like, why are you posting these
It
things?
feels like a few
Yeah.
years ago, like maybe 5 years ago, when that would happen, where someone would say, "Oh, this person died, RIP," and you're like, "No, that person died 2 years ago. Why are you reposting this?"
Weird.
yeah,
Why are you reopening
Alright,
the cut?
yeah.
Why open the wound?
Boys, that's pretty much the whole show. And speaking of the boys, Gen V premieres this weekend.
Really?
The spinoff of the boys. Yeah, it's coming
Okay.
out. I was actually supposed to go to the premiere tonight because I got
Nice.
Prime. Well, no, if you're a Prime subscriber, it was open to everyone. I got an email,
Mm.
Oh.
so you could get tickets to see it tonight at 9:15 in Montreal. It's actually playing in different theaters all over the country, in Canada and the United States. But I potentially have COVID, so I can't go.
What? What? How do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I tested negative, but everyone around me has it, and I've been sick for a few
Patient
days.
zero.
Yeah, man, you're patient zero, right, bro.
Yeah.
I show
Well, I
no
guess-
symptoms, but I give them out.
Yeah. So I can't go, which is unfortunate. But to anyone who's gonna go, or to anyone who's gonna watch it tonight, or watch it this week, I look forward to your feedback, because much like the faces you guys made, where you're like, I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about this Gen V show.
I feel like they're pushing the gross too much, and it's just like, all right, but doesn't it make sense though?
X-Men by blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Blood.
don't know. Speaking
Yeah.
of COVID, shouts to the person the other day who I love this. Shouts to the person the other day who argued about getting himself vaccinated and clearly outed himself as someone who did not get vaccinated, and yet immediately after hanging out with him, I had the chills for about a week. So shouts to you, sir. You're nasty.
Oh, no.
That's all I gotta say.
And on that note, we are out, folks. Thanks for tuning into another edition. We'll be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel, FXA Media. And anything you guys want to tell the people?
Love is blind. Watch that shit. We don't have any
Oh,
plans
no.
this season. No plans this
Oh,
season.
no.
No mean
That's
girls.
crazy.
Just regular ugly Americans. I'm kidding.
Check out Transformers Slag on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say quickly, fuck you, St. Charles snow removal. That's what I'm gonna say. I couldn't get that rant out there. We'll save
Oh,
that for
shit.
next week. But
Yeah.
fuck you.
yeah.
Oh, and
I'm back, baby.
fuck you, Dan Harmon. Crackopolis sucks. We out. Peace.
Oh,
No.